Lando Norris has been a standout performer in recent Formula One seasons, making him an established name in the midfield. As a result, the McLaren driver is now regarded as a potential future title contender. With Audi's entry into the sport in 2026 through a partnership with Sauber, and having hired McLaren's Andreas Seidl as their CEO, all that is left is to sign a top-level driver, and the British driver would be the ideal choice. Today, we're going to look at why Lando should be Audi's top F1 target. Seidl has replaced former Sauber CEO and team principal Frédéric Vasseur, who was poached by Ferrari. However, Seidl only took over the CEO role, and his first task will be to hire a new team principal. Audi, who will partner with Sauber in 2026 to use Sauber as their F1 works team, has welcomed this appointment. Seidl, as Sauber's CEO, is expected to lead Audi's 2026 F1 project, which includes the engine, drivers, and car, among others. Seidl has been a valuable asset to McLaren, spearheading the team's improved performance in recent seasons. Audi's next step, now that they are past the team boss hurdle, is to identify and sign a good driver who can help them achieve their high F1 goals. Teams that have invested heavily in quality drivers have outstanding results. Such teams include Red Bull with Verstappen, Mercedes with Hamilton, and Ferrari with Leclerc. Audi needs to identify their options early because many young drivers are on long-term contracts with their teams. Verstappen's contract runs until 2028, while Lando's and Leclerc's contract runs until 2025, putting them on the market just as Audi makes his F1 debut. Audi should consider all of these drivers, but Norris is the most appropriate target currently given his circumstances. Norris's quality is not only increasing, his contract is expiring in 2025, and there are doubts about McLaren's capabilities. All these factors make him a realistic target for Audi. Norris has been seen as a long-term target for any F1 team with serious ambitions. Suggestions in the F1 world have been that if Audi can acquire Norris from McLaren, their 2026 team will be a very formidable setup. He has been a viable option for Audi to consider, and that's definitely the case now that Seidl is the CEO. During their time together at McLaren, Norris and he have built a good working relationship. Do you concur with Seidl that Norris is one of the best drivers in Formula One? He had this to say about Lando's performance last year. If you look at Lando's performance this year, it's another confirmation that he has everything he needs in order to be one of the best in the paddock. What I see when I look at Lando's performance this year is that he made another step in terms of how he's consistently pulling it off in the qualifying seasons, in the races. The British driver's faith in McLaren that led him to committing the team until 2025 was all due to Seidl and a few other factors. Despite not having yet won a race, Lando has been McLaren's star since Carlos Sainz left the team. His consistency in winning points for the team has been so impressive that in 2021, the team offered him a $20 million a year contract until 2025. In 2021, he had 4 podiums, a couple of pole positions, and even a near race win at the Russian Grand Prix, were it not for the late downpour. This performance helped the team finish 4th in the Constructors' Championships. In 2022, he scored a podium at Imola, making him the only driver outside of those racing for either Red Bull, Mercedes, or Ferrari to do so. He finished 7th in the driver's standings, leaving the midfield. He's also the only midfield driver who hasn't been knocked out in Quarter 1. He qualifies well and he has almost no incidents on track, which make him one of the cleanest drivers on the grid. Who doesn't find his dedication to returning to the team to the past glory days impressive? He made his intentions of being a championship contender with McLaren clear when he signed his contract extension. The 2022 season, however, has been one that every McLaren fan would probably like to forget as they dropped to 5th position in the Constructors' Championship. After being on a 3-year upward trajectory from their 9th place finish in the championship in 2017 to the 3rd in 2020, the Woking-based team's progress stalled in 2022. This has been partly because of their less competitive 2022 car compared to the 2021 car. From where we were in Race 1, Bahrain, I think we've done a good job. We've recovered well. If I think of before the season, did we achieve in 2022 what we should have done as McLaren? Honestly, it's no. Lando said about their last year's performance, "It's just that we need a slightly better car, that's all." He added, Lando's statements indicate that he's dissatisfied with their performance last year. With the fierce competition that's always there among F1 drivers, it's unlikely for Norris to remain at McLaren long after the end of the contract if they provide him with a car capable of winning races in the coming years. McLaren has to prove that they're capable of challenging for the title, or else Lando's personal ambitions will make him move on to another team on the grid. How do you think Seidl's departure and Andreas Stella's appointment will impact the team? Let us know in the comment section. McLaren is currently facing financial hardships as a result of the slow sales and supply chain limitations. Although they've tried to solve this issue by selling their heritage vehicles worth over $100 million, a restructuring of the business is still unlikely to occur in early 2023. With the F1 cost cap in place, McLaren's situation is now less difficult, but a significant amount of money is still required to fund their operations. With reference to Haas or Williams, one can get a clear picture of how Formula One teams are impacted by insufficient funding. This is one of the main factors that should make them worried about losing their star driver to rivals. McLaren, however, being a historic F1 team, still has a chance of getting a good sponsor. That being the case, it's still something that they shouldn't bank on. How do you think the situation is going to play out? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. There's also been interest from Red Bull and Lando in the past. In 2018, Red Bull's advisor Helmut Marko attempted to secure the British driver a race seat at Toro Rosso, Red Bull's F1 sister team. Earlier that year, Christian Horner revealed that Red Bull's interest was heavily invested in Lando. We've talked to Lando a couple of times over the years, but every time we've had a conversation, he signed a contract with McLaren the next day, Horner admitted. He's on a long-term contract with McLaren. It looks like he's going to be there for a few more years, Horner said. Norris has faith in the McLaren workforce and believes that in the next 2 seasons, the McLaren car is going to be able to make progress. While talking about his future with the team in Abu Dhabi, Lando said, "It's just faith. It's just honesty. That's the main thing I need. I'm not a guy who likes BS or people trying to make me happy. I like people just being honest. I have faith in McLaren. I have faith in the guys I work with. I have faith in the whole team." All the team should do is capitalize on the faith that Lando has in them to provide him with a race-winning car. So what would happen if that's not the case by the end of Lando's contract? F1 drivers who make moves at the right time in their careers experience good results. A good example is Hamilton, who left McLaren in 2012 for Mercedes as a result. This is exactly what Norris should do if the Woking-based team doesn't satisfy his expectations by the end of the contract. With his talent, he can easily land a spot on one of the proving championship contenders. In 2026, Lando's going to be 26 and likely entering the prime of his career. If Lando ever considers a move out of McLaren, then Audi is going to do everything possible, at least they should do everything possible, to convince him that he'll be the best for the team. Now that they have Seidl as their CEO, their chances of signing Lando are high because they have a pre-existing relationship. Seidl knows how he thinks. Lando trusts Seidl, and Seidl will always have the inside track of just how good the Audi progress is behind the scenes, so he can give Norris an aggressive and honest pitch. Seidl started his motorsport career as an engineer at Sauber when it was BMW's works team, and since then has grown to become more than just an engineer. He has a track record of being an outstanding team leader since he's not only a corporate figure in a team, but also someone who genuinely understands all operations of a team. He certainly is the right man for the CEO job, so will we get to see Lando in an Audi race seat in 2026? That remains to be seen. It's a matter of wait and see, right, you know? Unfortunately, guys, that does mark the end of our video today. I hope you like it. Make sure to hit that subscribe button for more amazing F1 content, and until next time, cheers.